Today we're going to talk about what doctors I still see and what doctors I don't see anymore. Because I had somebody ask about that, so I thought today'd be a good day to cover it. Happy Sunday, everybody. Semi-Retired Bob here. I talk about the Carnivore Diet, all things related to the Carnivore Diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. Like I said, today we're going to talk about doctors and a few other things. Make sure my ears are covered here because it is a lot colder today. It's 12 degrees out here. This is the No Excuses Walking Challenge for January. If I can get out here and walk every day in January in Omaha, Nebraska, you should be able to get out and do something, even if it's going to the mall or walking laps inside your house, or if you're at that spot where you're just doing an extra couple of stand-ups from your couch every day. Whatever your activity level is, try and get just a little bit better. 1% every day. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. What you're watching is basically you're watching me walk. 20 months ago, I couldn't do this. I could barely stand for 2 to 2.5 minutes without severe pain. Now I'm out here walking every day. So help me get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. I'm 60 years old, and I'm doing things that I couldn't do when I was 40. Like out here walking every day. I wouldn't have even considered coming out into this cold to walk. Especially, we got another little dusting of snow last night. They're calling for another snowstorm to come in this afternoon. And then the real cold front comes in behind it. Right now it's 12 degrees. It's supposed to get up to about 14 today. And then after the snow blows through, we're going to be in minus temperatures for 4 or 5 days. That's going to be fun. But help me get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Drop down in the comments and say, "Hi, Bob." And if you haven't subscribed yet, why don't you consider subscribing? If you're returning to the channel, welcome back. I'm glad you're here as well. It does mean an awful lot to me that you choose to spend just a few moments of your day with me. But yeah, I had somebody, I don't remember exactly what they asked. It was something about how my doctors feel about all this. Most of you have heard this before, but I'm going to go through it again. My primary care physician, after I lost a bunch of weight, now this was a 1.5 years ago, so I was actually only down about 85 pounds, but my blood pressure was back to normal. My A1C was down to 4.8. All of these great things that had happened to me. You know, not having any more gout attacks. My arthritis was better at that time. My spinal stenosis was better, though not. My spinal stenosis is still a little bit there. I mean, I'm probably going to have that for quite some time because it is what it is. But I had all these great things. My HDL was up. My triglycerides were way down. But because my LDL, and it wasn't one of these super high lean mass hyper-responder level things, it was, if I remember right, my LDL was about 160. And all he wanted to talk about was putting me on a statin. Oh, well, you need to have a statin to reduce your risk of getting a heart attack from this high LDL by 50%. Well, I was well and truly informed by this point. So I told him, you know, that's relative risk that you're talking about there. I don't know if you have ever actually read the studies on this or seen the real information, but did you know the difference they're talking about is the difference between 0.5% and 1%, which, if you extrapolate that out over a 100-year lifespan, taking statins might give me an extra 8 days of life. And all of the side effects that I'm not having anymore. I didn't realize how bad some of the side effects that I was getting from statins were until I got off of them. He didn't like that at all. He didn't like being challenged. So I said, I tell you what, why don't you go ahead and pack up my records and I'll just find myself a new doctor. Well, when I was down in North Carolina, I decided I wanted some labs checked just to see. So I just went to an independent lab down there near Duke University where Dr. Westman is. I tried to make an appointment to see Dr. Westman, but he's kind of impossible to get in to see. So I just got the labs done. Everything was fine. My LDL had actually come back down a little bit. All my other numbers were good. So I currently do not have a primary care physician. I do still go see my cardiologist, who is keto-ish himself. He's not super committed to it, but he realizes that carbs are the enemy, and he tries to limit when he can. He's still a pretty big guy, but you know, he's 6'5", 6'6". He's a really big man, so he carries it pretty well. But he knows he's a little overweight, but he's very pleased with everything, and he knows my stance on statins. Has not tried to put me on statin. I know he's done some CAC scores. He doesn't actually tell me what they are, and I'm not sure, but he's got the thing right there in his office where the guy scans your heart. And I know my ejection fraction, whatever the heck that is, has been getting better and better. So I'm not too awful worried about it. I do still, when I first got out of the hospital from my, sorry about the traffic noise, but we're actually working our way to go around the big block today. I thought I wanted to get this done today because it's still in the double digits temperatures. And for the next 4 or 5 days, it's not going to be. So I don't know how good I'm going to be at the No Excuses Challenge moving forward into the negative temperature stuff. I am just going to finish up this one little story, and then because of the traffic noise, I'm going to flip the camera around and put the music section in the middle of the video. And then we'll talk more when we get headed back out off these main streets. I could have gone up through the neighborhood, but I figured this main drag would be a little bit better. And the reason I'm back to wearing my spikes today is because if you watched yesterday's video, I had a couple of little slips in my boots. And since we got just, I mean, it's not even a 1/4 inch, it's maybe 1/8 of an inch that we got yesterday. But this dusting has covered up all of the spots that could be icy. So I decided, with an abundance of caution, to put my spikes back on. And my toes aren't getting cold because these Fitville shoes are wide enough. I still feel pretty good with I put 2 pair of socks on because these trail runners that I've got the spikes on don't have the big fur lining like my boots do. So that's why we're on the spikes. But yeah, when I first got out of the hospital from heart surgery, my cardiologist, I went to see him. It was just a few days after I got out of the hospital. And he said, okay, welcome to being post triple bypass. We're going to see each other every 6 months till one of us dies. And the last time when I was in there this spring and he took me off my last medicine, the blood thinner, he said, okay, I don't think we need to see each other every 6 months anymore. You're doing well enough. I'll see you in a year. But I am still going to go see the cardiologist every year. I'm not an idiot. I feel better than I've ever felt. I'm doing things I could never do. But I have had a triple bypass, so I'm not an idiot. I'm going to keep my cardiologist and go see him on occasion. But as far as primary care doctors, well, we'll talk more about that here in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around. And you can see back there, where the cars have just come up the hill, is where we turned onto this main drag. And now, we're going on down this way. So go ahead and cue the music. Cut the music for a second. As you saw, I stopped at Casey's just because some idiot was so worried about getting bundled up he forgot to bring a bottle of water with him. So I now have a bottle of water in my jacket pocket. But I want to turn the camera back around here and show you where a few things are, because I kind of cut the corner going through my bank's parking lot here. But I still want to go out here on the edge and show you where we are. This is the big intersection of 132nd and Center. See that blue truck over there? That's H&M Trucking. That's the company I worked for right up until I had my heart surgery. If you're a truck driver looking for a better company to work for, I would highly recommend them. But you can see Aldi's is over there. on the other side of Center Street. And then just on the back side of Aldi's is where my mailbox is. I should probably walk over there, but I don't feel like crossing that many streets today. But there's the intersection of 132nd and Center. And up there at that traffic light you can see at the top of the hill is where we're headed, because that's where I came up to when I came out to Center Street on those other walks. So let's turn the camera back around and say cue the music. Oh, we're already on the other side. That's right, I was showing you where stuff is. So let's go ahead and cue the music again. And I'll see you as we get out of this traffic area where you can hear me again. Okay, cut the music. Thank you. Okay. I'm back at that block before the stop sign where I come up the hill from the house. This has been quite the walk. I probably wasn't quite ready to go this far. I mean, it doesn't feel like I'm going to collapse or anything. But I am starting to get tired. Because as I stated before, it's hard to walk. I should say it's harder to walk out here on snow and ice covered sidewalks. A couple of spots going down the hill you saw where they didn't have it plowed off at all, and I had to kind of wade through snow. And all the snowbanks are frozen at this point because it's so cold. And I apologize for the videos getting longer and longer, but I feel it's important, especially for this January challenge, to film everything. It looks like my nose is running, but it's not. I had this up over top of my nose while I was walking the other direction. Oh, okay. But I feel it's important for you to see the entire walk. Not that anybody would. I'm certainly not referring to anybody and calling anybody out, but you know, it's very easy for somebody to get home, turn on their camera and say, I just got a 5-mile walk in today, folks. And I'm not saying they're lying. I'm not saying anything like that. But I feel for the motivation of the January No Excuses Challenge. I feel it is very important for me to show you the whole walk and to tell you that it's just 12 degrees out here. And tomorrow when I go out and walk, probably won't be as far because I'm going to have to run, it looks like I'm going to have to run the snowblower again tomorrow. And it's only supposed to be a high of about 5 tomorrow. After the front moves through is when the real cold snap gets here. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, back to my thoughts on doctor. This is where I get a little bit controversial, and several people pushed back against this the last time I said it, and that's okay. You're allowed to have your own opinion on this. Like I said, I'm going to continue to see my cardiologist because I've had a triple bypass surgery. I'm not a complete idiot. But given all of the things we know about things that doctors get wrong, why are we going? Now, again, if we have a very specific issue that needs specific monitoring and specific med adjustments, by all means, you should be going to your doctor on a regular basis, just like always. But where did this, I'm going to go get my yearly checkup, come from? It came from insurance companies that are running businesses in an attempt, a misguided attempt, I might say, to reduce their bottom line on what they're paying out in healthcare claims for whatever company they're insuring. So they want them to go get a yearly physical. And there's a lot of places that do that. But where did that come from? As I've stated before on this channel, my grandmother, who lived to be 106, the first time she went to see the doctor, other than pregnancies, was she couldn't see so good because she had cataracts. So she ended up getting cataract surgery, and I believe she was 94 or 95 when she had that done. Right up to the day she passed, she walked down to the corner store to get whatever she wanted to eat. I remember they didn't eat very much because she lived with her sister, my great auntie Rhea. And she asked me how many, I was there for lunch one time, she asked me how many hot dogs I wanted, and I said I would eat 3. Well, she called my mom to make sure it was okay that I had 3 hot dogs because of their advanced age. My grandmother and my Auntie Rhea would usually split a hot dog for lunch. That still kind of blows me away a little bit. But And my granddad, he never went to the doctor. You know, where does this, oh, you have to go get a physical every year, you got to get blood work done, blah, 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 blah. Why? What's the point? If you feel good, you don't feel like there's anything that you absolutely have to get checked out, why are you doing that to yourself? Again, that's just my opinion. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. And for your peace of mind, if you really want to go see your doctor every 6 months or a year, that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to berate you for it. But me personally, since I've done so much looking at the labs, and I know what they show, and it's just what the doctor's going to show, and then he's going to say something stupid like, well, you need to be taking a statin. About once every other year, I'm going to get my labs done at an independent lab, look at them myself, analyze them with Dr. Barry's book. He co-wrote it with Kim Howerton called Common Sense Labs. If you don't have that yet, there's a link in the description. You should go get that. But that's what I'm planning on doing. Unless something feels like it's about to fall off or I end up getting some pain that continues to grow. Because, you know, I do believe we probably need to get the cancer markers checked and that kind of stuff. But once every other year is fine. And just going to an independent lab, I believe, is fine as well. Because this idea that you have to go to the doctor every 6 months to get your checkup is just a way to make the doctors more money and the insurance companies more money and the pharmaceutical companies more money. But again, that's just my opinion. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. Well, there it is. I will put the total mileage that I walked today somewhere about here. Don't forget to get out there, be 1% better today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you in the next one.